Hey guys, welcome to another video, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Boniswa. I do hair videos, tutorials, reviews and other lifestyle content. Now if that's your cup of tea, honey, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button down below and be part of the family. So as you can tell by the title, today we'll be discussing single strand knots. Single strand knots are the most annoying thing ever. So today we'll be discussing ways on how to manage and minimize single strand knots, as well as avoid them in the first place. So if you're interested, please do keep watching. Single strand knots or fairy knots are those strands of hair which loop and tangle individually within themselves to form a knot. These knots are super small and impossible to undo, and hence they are a nightmare to deal with. These are very small bead-like knots at the end of the hair, which you could see with your eyes if you just examine your ends. These knots are very common within tighter curl patterns. Type 4 people, most type 4 people actually, I think at some point or another have had to deal with single strand knots. Since our hair follicles don't grow out straight, they grow out in a sort of curvy, spirally way. This results in single strand knots. So they're natural and inevitable, unfortunately. And it's something we have to manage. Single strand knots are so annoying because one, they cause breakage. So the little beads at the end of the hair, the little knots at the end of the hair, when you're combing your hair, end up getting caught onto the comb, and it causes a lot of snagging and breakage to the hair. Single strand knots weaken the hair shaft by causing split ends to the hair, making the hair very weak and prone to breakage. Strand knots also reduce length retention in that the only way to deal with them and the only way to get rid of single strand knots is by trimming your hair, which gets in the way of your length goals. So in my journey dealing with single strand knots, there are three major changes which I've had to make because I got to a point where I was very frustrated with the single strand knots. But what I do is I do the search and destroy method, basically examining my hair and looking out for all those single strand knots and all those ends which look unhealthy, and then just trim them off all the time. But I got frustrated and annoyed by that, and there are three major things which I've done which have helped minimize single strand knots. So first thing, some of you may not like what I'm about to say. So I found that shrinkage is a recipe for single strand knots. So this is why after saturating my hair with water, or after my hair has had any contact with water, I have to braid it up or put it in a twist so it remains stretched, and manipulate it in that way so that it doesn't shrink back up and tangle. Number two, I never go to bed without braiding or twisting my hair. I never lay on the fro. Don't do that, sis. Don't lay on the fro. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
The friction of your pillow and your pillowcase, unless you've got like a satin or a silk pillowcase, but even so, I wouldn't do it. Anyway, the friction causes the hair to sort of tangle up. You move your head while you're sleeping, changing positions, and your hair is just out there just doing its thing and tangling up and getting all. So not braiding or twisting your hair before going to bed results in you having to go back in, possibly with a comb, and just brush it out again, which causes damage to your hair. Constantly manipulating it and combing it. So for me, I just braid my hair up, and then the following day I unbraid it and just finger detangle it. And I don't comb my hair very often. I only do so probably during wash day. Otherwise I hardly ever use any tools, any combs on my hair, just my fingers. Number three, during wash day, make sure that you work in sections and make sure that your hair is straight by just keeping it twisted. And when you want to rinse off your hair, make sure you hold it taut and let the water run down your hair in a downward motion while you're stretching it out, because you don't want to wash it upwards like that. You really don't want to pile your hair up on top of your head. You're causing single strand knots, you're causing tangles. You're making your life difficult. Just just do it in a downward motion, and once you've done that, make sure you twist up each section so it stays stretched. So single strand knots are one of the things that hinder the hair's potential growth. So you want to avoid this by cutting out all sorts of bad habits and just learning about better ways on how to care for your hair and handle it, since our hair, our natural hair, is pretty fragile, and it needs the most delicate care. Today was a very short video, but if you do have more questions regarding single strand knots, please do ask me in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer you. And anyway, thank you so much guys for all the support you've given me. If you enjoyed today's video, please do give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and do share my videos. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, goodbye.